Alright, today we're going to talk about scatter plots for the first part, and first we're going to talk about response variables and explanatory variables. Your response variables are the ones that measure the outcomes of the study, and we generally put that as the y value on a graph. The explanatory is the element that helps explain the changes in the response variable, which we're going to refer to as the x value. So when we have alcohol versus body temperature, we would say that this would be the explanatory and this would be the response, in the fact that we don't sure if the explanatory, we're sure that the alcohol is going to affect the body temperature. The body temperature doesn't affect how much alcohol you drink, or you don't drink any because you're in high school, but how much your parents may drink. However, if we have something like SAT verbal versus ACT reading, we can make either one of them the explanatory or the response, because we're not really sure. Well, one's not really going to have an effect on the other. You figure if one's high, the other one's probably going to be high. Okay, important fact here. Remember that calling one variable explanatory does not, and the other one response, doesn't mean that changes in one causes changes in the other. We'll get more to that when we talk about working variables. Let's talk about some scatter plots here, just if I'm going to describe. Alright, this one is a moderate to strong. We wanted basically positive linear relation, because as you can see, if I drew a line in here, it kind of gets close to all of the points. Obviously, if the points were closer, then it would be a little bit stronger, but that's considered fairly strong. This would be considered a weak, negative, for lack of a better terms, linear relation. Because if I draw the line down here, it's going down. There's some points that are nowhere close to the line, like this one over here. But it's definitely going down. That would be a negative, a strong negative, nonlinear. Because if I were to draw something, I would more think that this happens to be a curve. So when you're describing these, you want to make sure that you have a few things. You want direction, whether it's positive or negative. You want form, is it linear or nonlinear? You want strength, strong, weak, moderate. And if there's any outliers, you may want to say that. So let me show you a picture with an outlier. So this guy over here is not by anything, so we consider an outlier. If we got rid of this point, we wouldn't know if there was a negative correlation or a positive correlation, because the other points don't really form anything. But with this one, it automatically makes this look like it's going down. Okay, scatter plots are obviously numerical in nature. And let's do ACT math versus ACT reading, and see what the correlation is. And if I want to, I can use two different colors and say blue were the men and red was the women. And that's the last thing really we could talk about. You can use two different categories in scatter plots to kind of compare one group to another group. Here they look very much similar, but other times they may not.